It is 2026, and if you are a woman in your 30s, still feeling emotionally exhausted by certain type of people, not because you are constantly arguing with them, but because they take up so much space in your mind, then something needs to change. Maybe it is the friend who only comes when she needs something, the family member whose opinion still affects you more than you would like to admit, the person who sends a simple message and suddenly you are questioning yourself, feeling guilty, or replaying the conversation for the rest of the day. Maybe you have gone to bed exhausted, not because of everything you did that day, but because of the emotional baggage you carried with you to bed. The expectations, the guilt, the overthinking, the responsibility you seem to feel around everyone else's feelings. And what's frustrating is that many women spend years believing that the solution is finding better people, finding better partners, better friends, a healthier circle. But what if that's not the real issue? What if the reason your relationships feel so heavy has nothing to do with who's in your life, but more to do with the patterns that you have been carrying for years? Patterns that leave you over giving, over explaining, over accommodating, and quietly putting yourself last. The good news is that those patterns can change. And when they do, your relationships feel different. Not perfect, but calmer, lighter, and safer. And once you start seeing what was happening beneath the surface, you cannot unsee it. Many of us enter a new year promising ourselves that our relationships are going to be different. Less drama, less resentment, less feeling responsible for everyone else's feelings. We tell ourselves that this year we're going to protect our peace. But somehow, few weeks in or months in, we find ourselves right back in the old patterns. Saying yes when you want to say no, answering messages when you are already exhausted, listening to everyone else's problems while quietly carrying your own. And part of the problem is that we have been taught to think about boundaries in extremes. Either you are available for everyone all the time, or you are cold, distant, shutting people out. But neither option feels right. Because most women don't want to lose their relationships. They just want to stop losing themselves in them. They want to be kind without being taken advantage of. Supportive but without becoming everyone's caretaker. Present without feeling responsible for everyone's happiness. There has to be another way. A way to stay connected but without carrying the weight of everyone else's emotions. And that's where most people misunderstand what healthy boundaries are. They think of them as a brick wall they build around themselves. But when you build a brick wall around yourself, you feel lonely, you feel isolated. And that's why I want you to think of boundaries like the keys to your house. Most people think that having boundaries means locking everyone outside. But that's not what healthy boundaries look like. Healthy boundaries are about deciding who gets a key. Not everyone should have the same access to you. Some people have earned a key because they have consistently shown trust, respect, and care. While some people are welcome to visit, but they have to knock first. They don't deserve a key. And some people belong outside. They are not even allowed to enter the house. And the problem is that many of us handle our emotional house keys easily. We give people unrestricted access to our time, our energy, our emotions, our attention, our peace of mind before they have earned it. And then we wonder why we are exhausted. Imagine giving your house keys to someone who shows up whenever they want, leave a mess behind, drains your fridge, and never respects your space. Eventually, you will take the key back, not because you don't love them, not because you are cruel, not because you hate them, but because you need to protect your house. And the same applies to your emotional life. Just because someone is family doesn't automatically mean that they get a key. Just because someone is your friend doesn't mean that they will get a key. Just because someone wants access doesn't mean that they are entitled to it. They have to earn it. Because everyone who has the key has the power to influence your mood, your energy, your confidence, and your peace. And one of the most important lessons you will learn is this: you don't need to remove everyone from your life. Sometimes you just have to take the key back. Maybe they can still visit, maybe you still care about them, maybe you still love them, but they no longer have unlimited access to you because your peace deserves protection too. When we talk about relationships, we usually focus on the other people. We try to understand why they pull away, why they don't text back, why they keep crossing our boundaries. But there's a relationship we rarely talk about, the relationship we have with ourselves. Because the way you treat yourself quietly shapes every other relationship in your life. Think about this. How many times have you told yourself, I'm going for a walk, I'm going to rest tonight, I'm going to stop answering work messages after work hours, I'm going to spend more time on myself this weekend? And then when someone wants something, your plans disappear. A friend calls, a colleague asks for a favor, a family member needs help. And once again, you put yourself at the bottom of that list. At first, it doesn't feel like a big deal. But imagine having a friend who always keep breaking the promises they make to you. Eventually, you would stop trusting them. The same thing happens with yourself. Every time you ignore your own needs, you delay your own priorities, or you abandon your plans, you're sending yourself a message. Everyone else matters more than I do. Over time, this creates frustration, resentment, and exhaustion. Not because people are asking too much, but because you have stopped showing up for yourself. So if you want healthier relationships, start becoming someone that you can rely on. Keep small promises to yourself, not big life-changing promises, just tiny ones. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water before checking your phone. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk. Maybe it's reading one page of your book before bed. And the goal here is not productivity. The goal here is to prove to yourself that you keep the promises you make to yourself. That when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And when you do that consistently, something powerful happens. You begin to respect your own time. You begin to value your own needs. You begin to realize that your energy is valuable. And when you start treating yourself like you are someone who matters, you stop accepting treatment that suggests otherwise. Because healthy relationships don't start with finding better people, they start by having a better relationship with yourself. One of the most painful feelings in a relationship is feeling unseen. Not because they don't care, but because they have no idea what you actually need. Many of us grew up believing that if someone truly loved us, they should just know. They should notice when we are overwhelmed. They should realize when we are hurt. They should understand what we are feeling without having to say a word. So instead of saying what's wrong, we drop hints. We become quieter than usual, and we hope they notice. We hope they will ask, and we hope that they figure it out on their own. And when they don't, it hurts. Not because the need was not met, but because their failure to notice felt like a proof that they don't love us enough. And the problem is that most people are not mind readers. I'm not. Even people who truly love us can miss what's happening inside our heads. And the longer we wait and expect people to guess, the more resentful and disconnected we become. One of the healthiest things you can learn in relationships is to make your needs visible. Not through hints, not through silence, not through hoping that someone will magically understand, but through clear and honest communication. A simple formula is this: share how you feel, describe what's happening, ask for what you need. For example, instead of quietly handling everything yourself and hoping that your partner notices that you are overwhelmed, you can say this: I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything on my plate lately. Would you mind taking care of the dishes tonight? It's simple, it's clear, and it gives the other person a real opportunity to show up for you. Because healthy relationships are not about getting people to read what's in your mind. It's about giving them the chance to understand your heart by explaining your needs and your feelings clearly. Before you leave, I would like you to think about one relationship in your life that feels heavier than it should. Maybe the problem isn't the relationship itself. Maybe it's that you have given someone a key that they haven't earned. Maybe it's that you have been showing up for everyone except yourself. Or maybe that you have been hoping that people understand what's in your mind without clearly explaining it. Because healthy relationships are not built by finding the perfect people. At least that's what I thought in the past. They are built when you protect your peace, you honor your needs, and you communicate them clearly. And the beautiful thing is that none of that requires you to change your entire life. It starts with one boundary, one promise that you keep to yourself, one honest conversation. And I want you to know that the moment you stop abandoning yourself is the moment that all your relationships will change too. And so now you know how to make 2026 the best year of your relationships. But one important thing that you need to learn is how to set boundaries. So watch this video next to learn how to set boundaries in what I call the easy mode. See you there.